our primary tasks and goals were, our primary goal was to provide the other groups with the necessary information in order to do their portions of the project, as well as find the overall interest of our guests in the transit system. In order to reach this goal, we had 5 primary tasks. The first being permitting, the next being survey creation, along with that creating an electronic format of that survey, and then distribution and calculating the results from the distributed surveys. The permitting process required 2 primary permits. The first being the Joshua Tree National Park Research permit. This permit required us to kind of detail the process that we would use to distribute the surveys within the park. They wanted to make sure that we wouldn't interfere with any of the park rangers or any park guests during our visit during the busy weekends when we would be distributing the surveys. The next was the UC Irvine Institutional Review Board. This process was a little more thorough. It was online. We had to give an overall description of the and purpose of our project, as well as provide the survey, any scripts as far as sending out emails, and then just give a very in-depth overall overview of our project.
Okay, so the process of creating the survey took about 4 months, starting in December. I started the survey, and it was 1 page long, and it was predominantly based on a survey previously distributed for the Mojave National Preserve. I then passed the survey on to Sarah Hernandez, who's in the back, and she worked on adding a number of more specific questions for the users to answer. I worked with her on refining the questions to make sure they were very clear and concise so that the visitor could understand it. And then we also got feedback from university professors and PhD candidates that was incorporated into the final project. So the final survey was 4 pages long, and it had 24 questions. So the survey questions aim to gather information on our visitors. The first piece of information we wanted was the trip purpose. We wanted to know if they were going to Joshua Tree National Park to actually visit the park, or if they were passing through. We also wanted to know their mode choice, so what type of transportation were they taking? Were they using an RV to travel throughout the park, or a regular passenger vehicle? This will impact the environmental pollution in the area. Our next element is the activities. If they were, let's say, rock climbing, they had extra equipment that needs to be put on the shuttle system, and that needs to be accommodated for. And our route choice, we wanted to see which locations were very popular, so that we make sure our shuttle system goes to those locations. And finally, the cost, we wanted to see how much people were willing to pay for the system.
All right. Additionally, to our hard copy of the survey, we also have the online version. Our first version was based off the Google Forms, and we initially wanted to have this online survey just for those that could not or didn't have the time to go out to survey at the park, or are not willing to do it there. With the first one, the Google Forms, there are benefits to using this particular survey. First off, it is very user-friendly, and also we get the results inputted into spreadsheets. Next, it also allows people to do surveys at home or wherever they have internet access. However, with this, there's also challenges that we face, such as the customization of the questions. Since we want the online survey to reflect what we have on the hard copy, it was difficult to create the exact same layout and questions due to the fact that there was limited customization on the survey. Additionally, the link was incredibly difficult and complicated and long. We also wanted to hyperlink the Google Form survey from our ITE site, but we figured this might be a little too complicated for other people and might be too troublesome. Lastly, since it's also Google Forms, it's not official or affiliated with CI.
Okay, so the second version of the online survey is through the IEE system. For those of you who aren't familiar with IEE, it stands for Electronic Educational Environment and Access User Irvine's online course management system. It provides the users with certain tools, one of them being a survey creation. This IEEE survey provided us with several benefits that that Google Forms couldn't necessarily accommodate. So that was ultimately the deciding factor why we decided to publish the IEE survey versus the Google Forms survey. These benefits included aesthetically, it looks much nicer. And it's much more secure than the Google Forms survey. Most importantly, though, it allowed us to add pictures. So as you can see, this is the header. You're able to include the ITE logo as well as the UC Irvine logo, and it just adds credibility and made it official. However, with that said, there were some challenges. Like Kenneth said, the formatting of certain questions was a bit difficult. This is question 11 from the physical copy. As you can see, it's pretty open-ended. Participants are writing all over the page. It was pretty difficult to replicate that in the IEE survey. So we had to take a different approach. But in the end, most importantly, it was important that the layout of the question didn't impact the results from the participants.
To distribute our survey, we planned a trip to Joshua Tree on April 12th and 13th, a Saturday and a Sunday. We split our group into two different locations, one in Hidden Valley and the other in Barker Dam. At each site, we approached visitors with our survey, gave them a brief description of what our project was about, and asked if they would be willing to participate. On average, it took people between 5 and 10 minutes to fill out the survey, and most people were very friendly about it. And even though on Saturday was by far the busier day, we actually experienced a higher response rate on Sunday. One of the problems we ran into was some people, they got the survey in their hands, they're flipping through it, and they see how long it is, and they don't want to take the time to do it, so they tell us, we want to do this. And another problem was a lot of people who did take the survey left question 11 blank, which was that full-page question a few slides ago with the big map. They didn't want to take the time to do that. So those were a couple problems, and if we were to use this survey in the future, it would be beneficial to make it a lot shorter to increase the number of responses. So at the end of the weekend, we had 213 total survey responses, and to get this onto the computer, we had to manually input each one into a modified version of the online IEE survey. And once this was all in IEE, we were able to export a CSV text file from IEE to open in Excel. And this is just a little taste of what the unformatted export file looked like, what we're dealing with. So in Excel, we used functions to pick out individual answers within these strings of text in these cells, and it was especially difficult for the questions that had multiple responses where users could select multiple choices. And we ended up making bar graphs with the results for each question, as well as any averages built into them.
Here's one of our survey question results. In this particular question, we asked if such a partial system existed within Joshua Tree, would they be willing to use it on the visit that day? Roughly 57% said that they would, while 40% said they wouldn't want to use it. Lastly, we distributed our survey results to other groups. Questions concerning costs and estimates went to the buddy financing team, while popular locations, route choice, and frequency, we gave those to the transit system routing team and the infrastructure team. And aspects of green technologies and activities went to sustainability team. This concludes our presentation. We'll now open up to questions.
I might have missed it, but what was your response rate on the surveys?
Response rate as far as how many we handed out.
How many handed out and how many you got back, or how many visitors were there during those 2 days in April, and what percentage do you think filled out the survey?
We didn't count the number that said no. All the surveys that we gave people, they returned. Quick to estimate maybe a little over half of the people we approached were willing to take it.
Okay. Do you know about roughly how many people visited the park those 2 days?
So you guys did a good job. Nice presentation, very professional. And I just have one question. as you gather the survey and you got yes and no, were you able to figure out why there's a no?
There actually was questions in the survey as far as what or why they wouldn't want to. Some reasons were they weren't comfortable leaving their car somewhere to take the shuttle. Some people were worried about the frequency and it taking too long between locations they wanted to travel. So there are a few reasons such as those why they didn't want to.
One more question. You mentioned from lessons learned in terms of if you have to do the survey again, how you would package it or the length of the survey. Any other lessons learned that you took from this if you were to do this project again?
As far as the project, starting sooner would have been a lot better. The IRB process was quite lengthy and very thorough. As far as the survey, definitely the length was probably the biggest. But yeah, just starting sooner probably would have been most beneficial.
What was the reason for the dates that you went? You said April 12th and 13th?
Earlier in the year, we had 2 dates set, but the IRB process took a little bit longer than thought, so we had to push that back. We just picked dates where they were busy, because there's about 5 weekends, I believe, where they said that they have the most visitors. So that was near one of them, so we chose that weekend, so we can get the most responses.
So you talk about different survey-based methods. Did you get any responses through the AAA survey system?
We got approximately 40 responses from the AAA survey.
How many?
40.
40.
Yeah.
Okay, how about paper-based?
Paper was 2.5. And the electronic one is still open for a few more weeks.
It's still open.
Yeah.
So would that be taken into account for your
Yeah.
result analysis?
Yeah.
So did you have any ridiculous answers that you had to go
Yes, we did. I wanted to sneak it into the presentation, but I decided it was inappropriate.
Thanks.
There was one response that said, tourists ruin everything, they get in my way. Tourist response.